The wrestling world just exploded and nobody saw this coming because Dominik Mysterio has crossed a line that even his most dedicated haters didn't think he would cross, and what he just did with his brand new female partner has sent shockwaves through every corner of the WWE universe, while Cody Rhodes sits in the middle of all this chaos with a twist so massive it could redefine everything we thought we knew about the current landscape of professional wrestling. Before we dive deep into this absolute madness, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss a single update on this developing situation. Dominik Mysterio has always been the guy fans love to hate, and he's leaned into that role harder than anyone could have imagined, but what he pulled off recently isn't just your typical heel behavior, because this goes beyond anything we've seen from him before, and it involves a woman who nobody expected to be anywhere near his orbit. The chemistry between them is undeniable, and the way they've been working together has people questioning everything they thought they knew about loyalty, relationships, and what it means to play the game in WWE, because Dominik isn't just breaking rules anymore, he's rewriting them entirely. This new partnership isn't some random pairing thrown together by creative teams desperate for ratings, because there's a calculated precision to every move they make together, and the way she complements his in-ring style while adding her own flavor of chaos has created something that feels fresh, dangerous, and completely unpredictable. Let's talk about who this mystery woman is, because her identity alone has fans spiraling into theories and speculation that range from believable to absolutely insane. Some people think she's someone from his past coming back to haunt the WWE landscape, while others believe she's a completely new face who saw an opportunity to align herself with one of the most hated men in professional wrestling and decided to take it without hesitation. What we do know is that she carries herself with a confidence that suggests she's been around the block a few times, and her presence alongside Dominik creates this electric tension that you can feel through the screen. She's not just standing in the background looking pretty or playing the role of supportive girlfriend, because she's actively involved in the schemes, the plans, and the execution of every single thing they're doing together, and that makes her just as dangerous as Dominik himself, if not more so, because nobody knows what she's truly capable of yet. The way they operate together is like watching a perfectly choreographed dance where every step, every gesture, every glance has meaning and purpose. Dominik has always been good at getting under people's skin, but with her by his side he's reached a whole new level of psychological warfare that extends beyond just trash talk and cheap heat. They're playing mind games with everyone from Cody Rhodes to other top stars on the roster, and the scary part is that they're winning more often than not because their opponents simply don't know how to counter this new dynamic. When you think you've figured out their game plan, they switch it up and throw something completely unexpected at you, and by the time you realize what happened, the damage is already done and you're left picking up the pieces while they celebrate their latest victory. Now let's get into the Cody Rhodes situation, because this is where things get really interesting and where that big twist comes into play that nobody saw coming. Cody has been on top of the WWE world, carrying himself as the face of the company and the standard bearer for everything that professional wrestling should represent, but Dominik and his new partner have made it their personal mission to tear that image down brick by brick. The history between Cody and Dominik goes deeper than most fans realize, and there are layers to their rivalry that haven't been fully explored on television yet but are bubbling just beneath the surface, waiting to explode at any moment. This isn't just about championships or main event spots, because there's a personal element to their conflict that makes every interaction between them feel more intense, more real, and more consequential than your average wrestling feud. The twist involving Cody Rhodes is something that's going to change the trajectory of multiple storylines moving forward, and it connects directly to Dominik's new female partner in ways that are both shocking and brilliantly complex. Without giving away every single detail, because some things are still developing as we speak, the basic framework is that Cody has a connection to this woman that he didn't even know existed until recently, and that connection puts him in a position where he has to question everything about his current path in WWE. The revelation hits him like a freight train, and you can see it in his eyes during their recent confrontations that he's processing information that fundamentally changes how he views not just Dominik but the entire situation he's found himself in. This isn't just wrestling storytelling anymore, because it feels like real drama unfolding in real time with real consequences that will ripple through the WWE landscape for months or even years to come. Dominik's cheating tactics have always been a part of his character, but with this new partner those tactics have evolved into something far more sophisticated and harder to counter. They're not just bending the rules, they're finding loopholes in the rulebook that nobody knew existed and exploiting them to their full advantage while referees and officials scramble to keep up. She brings an element of distraction that Dominik has never had access to before, and the way she uses that to create openings for him is both brilliant and infuriating depending on which side of the equation you're on. Opponents find themselves constantly looking over their shoulders, wondering where she is, what she's doing, and whether she's about to interfere in some way that tips the scales in Dominik's favor, and that constant state of paranoia is exactly what they want, because it means their enemies are never fully focused on the task at hand. The chemistry between Dominik and his new partner extends beyond just their in-ring work, because their backstage segments have been absolute gold and show a side of both characters that we haven't seen before. There's a playfulness to their interactions mixed with genuine menace that creates this fascinating dynamic where you're not quite sure if they're just using each other for mutual benefit or if there's something deeper going on between them. The ambiguity adds another layer to their partnership and keeps fans guessing about what their endgame really is, because nothing is ever quite what it seems when these two are involved. They drop hints and clues in their promos and interactions, but they're always vague enough that you can't pin down exactly what they're planning until it's too late to stop them. Other wrestlers on the roster have started to take notice of what Dominik and his partner are doing, and some of them are beginning to form alliances specifically to counter the threat they represent. The problem is that traditional alliances and partnerships don't work the same way against these two because they're unpredictable, chaotic, and willing to do things that others won't even consider. They've already burned several teams who thought they had them figured out, and those defeats have sent a clear message to the rest of the locker room that underestimating this duo is a mistake you only make once. The psychological edge they've established through these victories is almost as valuable as the wins themselves, because now every opponent steps into the ring with them already second-guessing their strategy and wondering if they're walking into a trap. Cody Rhodes finds himself in the unique position of being both the hunter and the hunted in this situation, because while he's trying to expose Dominik and his partner for who they really are, they're simultaneously working to dismantle everything he's built over the past few years. The twist we mentioned earlier plays directly into this dynamic and creates a scenario where Cody has to make some incredibly difficult choices about how he proceeds and who he can trust moving forward. The woman at the center of all this holds information that could be devastating if it comes to light, and both Dominik and Cody know it, which means they're both maneuvering to control the narrative before it spirals out of control. The tension builds with every passing week, and you get the sense that something big is about to break wide open that will change everything for everyone involved. What makes this entire situation so compelling is that there are no clear good guys or bad guys anymore, because everyone is operating in shades of gray and making morally questionable decisions in pursuit of their goals. Dominik is obviously playing the villain role, but he's doing it with such conviction and creativity that you almost have to respect the craft even if you hate the character. His new partner adds another dimension to that, because she's not just evil for the sake of being evil. There's intelligence and strategy behind everything she does that suggests she's playing a longer game than anyone realizes. Cody Rhodes, meanwhile, is trying to maintain his position as the heroic figure, but the twist forces him to confront aspects of his own past and present that aren't quite as clean and noble as he'd like everyone to believe. The matches that have resulted from this new partnership have been some of the most entertaining and talked about moments in recent WWE history, because they combine great wrestling with legitimate drama and storytelling that keeps fans invested beyond just the athletic competition. Dominik has improved tremendously as an in-ring performer over the past year, and having a partner who can match his intensity and add her own flair to the mix has elevated both of them to a level where they're consistently delivering when it matters most. The finish to their matches often leaves fans debating whether what they just witnessed was legal or not, and that controversy generates buzz and conversation that extends far beyond the immediate aftermath of the show. Social media has exploded with reactions to everything that's been happening, and the fan theories about where this is all heading have gotten increasingly elaborate and creative. Some people think this is building toward a massive betrayal where the woman turns on Dominik and reveals she was working with Cody all along, while others believe she's going to be the catalyst for Dominik's eventual face turn when he realizes he's been manipulated. There are even wilder theories involving other WWE legends and surprise returns that could factor into the resolution of this storyline, but the truth is that nobody really knows where this is going except the people writing it, and they're keeping their cards very close to the vest. That uncertainty is part of what makes this so exciting, because for once in an era where spoilers and leaks are everywhere, we're genuinely surprised by developments as they happen. The promos that Dominik and his partner cut together have been exceptional and show a chemistry that you can't fake or force, because it's either there or it isn't, and in their case it absolutely is. They play off each other naturally, bouncing ideas back and forth and finishing each other's sentences in ways that make their partnership feel authentic, even though we know it's all scripted and choreographed. The writing team has given them material that plays to their strengths and allows both of them to shine without one overshadowing the other, which is a delicate balance that many on-screen partnerships fail to achieve. When they're on your screen, you can't look away because you never know what they're going to say or do next, and that unpredictability is pure gold in the world of professional wrestling. Cody's response to all of this has been measured and calculated, because he knows that reacting emotionally is exactly what Dominik and his partner want him to do. The twist complicates his ability to simply go out there and fight fire with fire, because there are personal stakes involved now that make every decision more difficult and more consequential. He's had to become more strategic in his approach, working behind the scenes to gather information and build alliances while maintaining his public persona as the company's top star. The strain of managing both sides of this situation is starting to show, and fans are beginning to wonder if the pressure will eventually cause him to crack and do something that goes against everything he claims to stand for. The road ahead promises even more chaos and drama as this storyline continues to unfold and new layers get added with each passing week. Dominik and his new female partner show no signs of slowing down their reign of terror, and if anything they seem to be getting bolder and more aggressive with their tactics. Cody Rhodes is being pushed to his absolute limit, and the twist hanging over his head threatens to explode at any moment and change the entire landscape of WWE when it does. Other wrestlers are starting to pick sides and form their own plans for dealing with this situation, which means we're potentially looking at a much larger conflict that could involve multiple championships and main event level talent before it's all said and done. The beauty of what's happening right now is that it feels fresh and exciting in a way that wrestling hasn't felt in quite some time, because everyone involved is committed to telling the best story possible and putting on the best performances they can deliver. Dominik has embraced his role as one of the most hated men in WWE and is running with it in ways that are both entertaining and legitimately impressive from a character work standpoint. His new partner has burst onto the scene and immediately established herself as someone who cannot be ignored or dismissed as just another pretty face because she's proving she has the skills and the charisma to hang with anyone on the roster. Cody Rhodes is navigating the most complex and personal storyline of his WWE career and is doing so with the gravitas and intensity that only someone of his experience and talent can bring to the table. As this saga continues to develop, the only certainty is that nothing is certain and the ground beneath everyone's feet could shift at any moment depending on what Dominik and his partner decide to do next or how that big Cody Rhodes twist finally comes to light. The wrestling world is watching with bated breath, waiting for the next shoe to drop, and when it does you can bet that the fallout will be enormous and will set the stage for some of the biggest matches and moments WWE will deliver this year. If you haven't been following this story closely, now is the time to start because you do not want to miss what happens next, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to stay updated on every twist, turn and shocking revelation as this incredible storyline continues to unfold.